So I'd love to introduce for you Sam Hayek. He's a successful cafe owner turned consultant. Sam's passion for food started back when he was a boy in his mother's kitchen in Lebanon. He migrated to Australia and he was able to turn his passion for food into a successful cafe business, opening Hungry in Roselle. Well, Sam moved on from that, such a success that it was, and now he runs a very successful groundskeeper cafe. He's an accomplished barista and executive chef, and now Sam wants to turn his knowledge into helping others. And works with other cafe owners and runs a successful cafe consultant business. So he wants to help aspiring businesses to create a cafe that turns a profit. Also joining us today for today's session is from Service New South Wales is John Quek. He's our council relationships officer. And I just want to share with you all, if you don't already know, that Service New South Wales does have a concierge service. So what that does is it actually supports our businesses to help you succeed. So this type of support can include anything from helping you complete the correct documentation, so to help you when you get started, and also point you in the right direction to get the support that will need to suit your needs. So I wanted to say thank you and welcome to you both, gentlemen, for joining us for today's session.
Thanks, Tanya.
So we're focusing today on running a successful cafe, and that can often be seen as a perception because we often see some people sort of busying around, grabbing a cup of coffee, and it looks like it's doing a booming business, but that's not always the case. So the first question I have for you, Sam, is can all businesses or cafe businesses be successful?
Definitely not.
So what are the things that we need to be looking at when we're talking about running a successful cafe? What are the 3 key points that you wanted to talk to us about today?
Look, there's a lot of points, but we can make it short today, and because we have limited time, and we can focus on location, concept, and management. Those are the main 3 categories that you'll be looking at, and they are all as important as each other. But there's a lot of subcategories underneath as well that we need 2 weeks to go through.
So let's talk about those 3 categories. So I think when we spoke, there's 3 key areas that we would like to look at, which is location, concept, and management. So then we're moving on to management because we talked about this and understanding the difference between managing a business and then just working in a business.
That's right. So working in the business will always stop you from working on the business.
Mm-hmm.
So there's working in and working on.
And the interesting thing is, and I've spoken about this, the statistics that have come in front of me is about 65 to 67% of cafe owners or small business owners actually don't pay themselves a wage. They just pretty much take money out of the till. And from what I can understand, Sam, that's a very big no-no for you.
It's a big no-no.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Whether you work in or you work on, it's a big no-no.
So you should set yourself up as an employee and pay yourself a wage.
Yes. And that reflects in a lot of things. And at the end, it reflects on the value of the business if you want to sell the business. Mm-hmm. I had someone approach me. They said, I want to sell my business. Can you find me a buyer? I said, definitely, I can find you a buyer. There's no problem. How much money you want? And he said, $250,000. Is like, based on what? How much money do you make? He said, I make $170,000. I said to him, you make $170,000 a year in your pocket? He said, yes. Okay. So let me ask you a question. How many hours you work in the business? 106 hours a week, 7 days a week. What about your wife? My wife is here about 60, 65 hours. I said, do you pay yourself a wage? He said, no. I said, do you pay your wife a wage? He said, no, this is our profit. I said, so here goes the profit. If I was to replace you with an employee that will cover, there's not one employee that will do 106 hours. So I need 2 people. And I might be lucky with someone that will do 65 hours, but that's 3 wages. And the 3 wages are more than $170,000. Mm. So here's gone your profit and your business worth $0.
So let's take that a step back. So we're a startup business because we understand the key important thing is that in order for you to be able to hand over to other people to run your business, you need to understand how it works. So you would need to work in every facet of your business. Mm-hmm. You would also need to understand the finances of your business.
You need to understand the business from A to Z, from washing dishes, mopping the floor, wiping the tables, making coffee, serving coffee, adjusting the grinder, cooking. You have to be someone that can replace any missing person in the business. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you'll be living under the mercy of the employees, and this is the worst thing you can do to your business. I had a lady in the Northern Beaches. She had the chef instead of putting pastry on the pie, he was putting toast and putting in the oven. because he ran out of pie. He ran out of puff pastry, and he couldn't care less. So he started putting a piece of toast, put some water on it, and smash it and put it on top of the pie and serve it to customers. She ended up closing the business and losing everything because she could not do anything. She did not understand what he's doing wrong. She didn't even know it was a bread.
So Sam, coming back, so let's go back to the basics here so people can understand. When you're starting your cafe and you actually understand, obviously, every aspect of your business, then trying to bring staff in so you can start to get yourself out. Let's talk through a checklist of what people need to understand. Is it important to be affiliated with a bookkeeper or a good accountant so you understand the finances? Should you have a budget in place?
Everything that you can outsource it.
So what are they? What are those items?
Mainly bookkeeping and accounting, because it doesn't matter how much you understand them, you will not have time to do them, and you will always fall behind. So keeping away with your finances, with your taxes and GST and every quarter, before you know, you will be accumulating $50,000 worth of taxes and GST, and good luck paying it. It's going to be very hard to pay. So you got to keep on top of those. And the only way to keep on top of them is you either put yourself as a full-time bookkeeping and accounting person, or you assign someone to do it for you. You contract someone for $200, $300 a month or whatever to come and do it for you. And this is very, very important. Just remember that we are very unfortunate people in the hospitality industry. We pay 10% on every dollar in sales, not in profit. Everyone else pays profit except hospitality pays sales. So we pay every $10,000 takings, you gotta take $1,000 out of that for Mr. Taxman, because that's GST.
Yep.
Whether you claim GST or not. And we don't claim GST on anything because everything we buy is GST free. Coffee GST free, tea GST free, ham GST free, eggs GST free, all the food's GST free. The moment you put on a plate, you gotta sell it with GST and pay GST on that. So $3 coffee, 30% gone to Taxman. People don't realize how much they lose in GST. $1,000 a week is a wage, and a lot of people take it out, put it in the account, they spend it. GST card time comes, no GST to be paid. They start struggling and they start screaming and yelling. And mate, $1,000 a week should be put on the side just for GST. Then you gotta pay as you go wages.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. This is where Service New South Wales will really help. A business person understanding what their obligations are, setting up the right business structure, registering for GST, choosing the right business or ANSIC code, having an accountant and or a tax person or solicitor, having our bookkeeper is so important. One of the biggest issues we've had with businesses applying for grants is that they haven't had their business set up correctly, whether it's GST registration, whether their wages are being paid properly, PAYG, whether their ANSIC code, and many of them don't even understand what an ANSIC code is. So that has created a lot of problems. So to Sam's point, it's super important to get the experts in. As a cafe owner, you're not qualified as an accountant or a bookkeeper, and you may never have employed people before. A lot of businesses, and you see it in the media, some very big names, organisations as small, who've gone under or have been received adverse publicity because of underpaying staff, not the correct award rates, leave entitlements, all of the superannuation. So
how do we do that, John, in terms of getting the correct job descriptions and award wages and making sure that we're employing people under the fair award, but also doing it above the line, if you like? Because I know the hospitality industry is rife, as are many food industries, where it is just still very much a cash economy when it comes to staffing.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
It's getting tougher. So where do you go to make sure you get those proper employment agreements in place?
Well, you can certainly come through Service New South Wales, and Business Concierge will step you through that at the right stage where you're at, understanding what your understanding of those obligations are, and we can direct you to Fair Work to get the correct award rates, the pay rates, and it can be difficult, especially in today's world where a lot of businesses trade late on weekends, public holidays, all of that. And an example I use is McDonald's. Under the award rate, as an employee working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and if there's a public holiday and overnights and into past midnight, would be eligible for up to 5 or 6 different pay rates just across 2 or 3 shifts on the weekend, factoring time and a half, leave loading, public holiday loadings, all of those things. So it's impossible to understand. So we could put you, give you guidance around what those award rates and get your hands on and show you where you can get the real-time award rates and have them at your fingertips.
So, and Sam, obviously with you, because you have that experience, what's the toughest thing in terms of transitioning into that management role and taking yourself out of the business?
Sacrificing a lot of money.
And were you able to recoup it? Did you see the benefit in the long term for you?
It goes to your mindset. If you want to go sip beers on the beach and thinking the business is going to make you money, it's not going to work for you. I still put good 20 to 30 hours a week in the business itself, scattered. And whenever I need to fill up, I need to fill up. So I'm always on call. So I cannot turn my mobile off because someone might message in the morning saying, I'm sick today, I'm not coming to work. I'm going to have to jump up and go. I'm always free to do that. But that allowed me as well to put 20, 30 hours in the business and go do something else. So at one stage, I owned 4 groundskeeping cafes. So if I was a self-employed person and working in the business itself, there's no way I would have been able to open another one.
So how did you transition out from being self-employed to being a business owner? Talk us through that transition, because I think a lot of people would want to know how you can remove yourself. And a lot of that comes down to trust.
You got to trust yourself first.
Yep.
You got to believe in yourself. So after I've learned the business inside out, and after I struggled working in the business myself 7 days a week, I've came to the realization that, do I want to physically be doing this for the rest of my life? And I started thinking, next business I'm going to open, I'm going to not work in it, I'm going to work on it. And so I had a mindset that next, when I sold Hangry, my mindset was that next one is going to be on the semi-management. I'm going to be there, my presence still be there, my customers want to come and see me, but instead of me getting in the kitchen on Sunday and cooking, I'll be sitting on the table having coffees with my clients, making sure they're happy, talking to them, chatting to them. Everyone knew me by name. I knew everyone by name, and people would come say, it's here today. So I was still present, but I was not doing, I could pick up and leave anytime I wanted. I was able to take my family on a hot Sunday to the beach without having a worry. Working in the business, there's no way I could have done that. I missed on a lot of my eldest son childhood because of working in the business 70, 80 hours a week minimum. I used to kiss him goodbye in the morning, come back at night, kiss him goodnight. That was it.
So talk to me. So in terms of staff turnover, I'm just trying to think about, because I know hospitality has a very high level of turnover. How can you continue to do that to ensure the success of your cafe?
Personally, I'm very lucky with my staff. I have staff that's been working with me for 8 years and 7 years. So all my staff are long-term. I look after them very well, and I treat them like family. I'm not a tyras. So I'm not someone that says you can't have everything on the menu. You have a limited menu. I tell them, when you want to have lunch, order whatever you want. And they love it because they're human beings at the end. They see someone eating a chicken burger, although it is $24 and expensive, but they feel like it sometimes. I'm not going to say to them, go pay $10 for the chicken burger. I say, have whatever you want. And when I give them, they give me back. When I look after them, they look after me back. And I'm telling you, they've been with me for 8 years and 9 years, and they're not willing to go anyone else. Not because only of the food, but the way I treat them as well, the way I trust them, the way I never question something they do. Even if I have doubts in them, I don't come and I don't go to their face and confront them. I investigate, I find out what happened, and most of the times I'm wrong, and my doubts are not in place. So it is to build that trust relation with your staff, and that loyalty is very, very important. And I've seen some terrible cases where people treat their staff like slaves or like with disrespect. Or they started them in front of customers, and it's not nice. So
it's so refreshing to hear Sam talk about that, because this is clear why he is successful and had, because if you were to ask him straight off what's his most important asset, it would be his people, right? And he treats them like that. Values
these are people that make him more money, John. If without them, I wouldn't be making money.
Yeah.